Buongiorno, oggi ho realizzato un altro dei miei video imperfetti e voglio farvi conoscere, non so se lo pronuncerò bene in inglese, comunque Chase Hughes è un esperto di scienza del comportamento, autore ed ex capo di Stato Maggiore della Marina degli Stati Uniti, con decenni di esperienza nell'analisi del comportamento umano, nella persuasione e negli interrogatori. È ampiamente riconosciuto per aver sviluppato tecniche avanzate di influenza, decodifica del linguaggio del corpo e profilazione psicologica. Hughes forma agenzie di intelligence, forze dell'ordine e aziende in tutto il mondo, condividendo potenti strumenti per la comunicazione e l'influenza umana. Se volete saperne di più su questo personaggio statunitense, potete esplorare tranquillamente il suo canale. Io ho effettuato questo mio video imperfetto mettendo i sottotitoli in italiano, ma potete tranquillamente iscrivervi al suo canale e così sarete informati su molte cose importanti che riguardano proprio noi. Buona visione.
You know that this is a confusing statement, but if we're in a conversation and I'm speaking in a really confident way, and I said something like, how different would it be if the same thing started looking now like it wouldn't change if nothing else really did? And you could just get completely open. And then the CIA, without even attributing anything to them, copied it almost word for word in an interrogation manual. And I have that PDF too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Chase Hughes just exposed the scariest manipulation trick yet. They used to call it interrogation, but now it's just called content.
They discovered this in the 50s and 60s that if I can confuse your brain acts as though someone it's somebody that's falling. So if you imagine when you're falling, your limbs are flailing all over the place, and the first solid object that they come into contact with, it's going to like grab around it, no matter what, even if it's a thorn bush or something.
Okay.
Right? So anything that's solid in that moment of confusion is going to get grabbed onto. So the brain corollary to this is if a person's confused, the first logical piece of information they hear after being confused will be automatically accepted, or more automatically accepted, without being screened or scrutinized by the brain.
In the world of behavioral manipulation, few tools could be more dangerous or more effective than confusion. Scientology's founder, L. Ron Hubbard, understood this long before social media or surveillance capitalism. He wrote extensively about a method now known as the Alice in Wonderland technique, which involves flooding the subject with contradictory messages, bizarre phrases, and emotional whiplash until their grip on reality begins to slip. Same results, same obedience. This is what Chase keeps warning about. You don't need drugs, you don't need torture, you don't even need to raise your voice. If you combine novelty, confusion, and perceived authority, you could get full compliance. No hypnosis required. Just a clean room, a uniform, and the right script. The scariest part of the Milgram study isn't what people did back then. It's that nothing's changed. And now the lab coat could just look like an influencer with a verified checkmark.
If I can get you to think that most of your tribal members agree to X, then most people, like 90% of people, will say, okay, X is true.
Well, especially with social media, right?
Scroll, swipe, pause, watch again. It feels random, but it's not. According to Chase Hughes, what's happening on your phone is emotional engineering. Every short-form video, every ad, every comment thread is part of an invisible loop designed to pull your mind in every direction at once. And the goal isn't to entertain you, definitely not. It's to fracture your focus, fatigue your logic, and keep you emotionally volatile. Because that's when you're easiest to control.
Your brain versus a $1 trillion computer, you're going to lose. I'm going to lose. And I can spot all of the things, and I'm still going to lose.
Social media obviously is having some sort of psychological manipulation on people.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest impact it's having on people, other than the theft of your time?
Tribal confusion. So I get to automatically, I don't have to hack your brain. I don't have to convince you of anything. All I have to do is tell you a whole shitload of people believe this one thing. And all that is, it may not get you to keel over right away, but it gets you to say, wow, it's starting to become a pretty popular idea. I'm going to start to might start entertaining that. So technology has outpaced our brain's ability to adapt, period. We cannot adapt. Our brains haven't changed in 200,000 years. If I can trick the mammal part of your brain that doesn't even speak English, so all I have to do is get the human part of your brain to translate what you're seeing on the phone, into an image in your mammalian brain, and think that it's brand new, something weird that haven't seen before. Does that sound familiar on social media?
Sure.
Weird, unusual.
Oh yeah.
Novelty generates focus. Then there's an authority, because you're thinking a lot. This thing has 97,000 likes in the last hour or whatever. Authority. Tribe is there. It's built into the likes.
And then a lot of bots in the comments that agree with it.
Yeah.
Chime in and
Can't believe he's doing this. What a narcissist. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He calls it emotional cycling. And once you spot it, you can't unsee it. Rage clip about politics, swipe. A video of someone healing from trauma, swipe. A luxury car and a link to a masterclass, swipe. A breakup story, swipe. The cycle repeats. Each emotion spikes your brain chemistry, then drops it. You're not just watching content, you're being rewired by it. In short, the more emotionally scrambled you are, the more programmable you become. This is the Alice in Wonderland technique, at scale. These platforms don't just confuse you with nonsense language, they do it with algorithmic chaos. You're pushed from fear to hope to loneliness to desire in under 60 seconds, and then you're sold a fix. What looks like entertainment is behavioral warfare, and it's not your attention they're fighting for, it's your identity. Here's what he reveals about the algorithms.
If I've got you for 16 hours with advanced algorithms and technology designed to manipulate you specifically, and in 1972 they could talk someone into murder in 45 minutes. If you just imagine what's possible.
And know that governments are utilizing that. It's not just people's opinions, and it's not just groups of people that are trying to convince other people to think the way they think. It's actual governments that are involved in trying to manipulate narratives.
Yeah. If you're thinking it's a left and a right issue, that's also, you may be a victim.
Most people think influence requires years of training, deep psychological knowledge, or advanced hypnosis. Chase Hughes disagrees. According to him, if you know what to look for, controlling someone's behavior doesn't take skill, it takes selection. The key isn't technique, it's targeting. You don't need to manipulate everyone, just the right kind of person. He says the most influenceable people don't walk around with signs on their heads, but they do wear it on their faces. One detail he talks about often, wrinkle-free under eyes. Not just a cosmetic feature, he links it to emotional suggestibility. People with extremely smooth lower eyelids, according to his findings and feedback from thousands of hypnotists, are significantly more prone to entering trance states and accepting suggestions without resistance. The idea is simple. If someone can be persuaded easily once, they can be persuaded repeatedly. That's why cult recruiters, hostage negotiators, and interrogators all rely on behavioral cues to decide who to engage and how. And the methods are often the same, only the goal is different. To track and codify these behaviors, Hughes developed what he called the Behavioral Table of Elements, a public PDF that outlines over 100 human behaviors ranked by their likelihood of deception, stress, or emotional openness. It's built on over 40 peer-reviewed studies and observational field data. It's a toolkit for behavioral control, not just a chart.
Essentially, it's every behavior that a human being can do, rated from least deceptive to most deceptive. And it's free online. I don't charge money for it or anything. So each one of those is a little human behavior, and they're rated from least deceptive to most deceptive. So this is like the ultimate one-page guide to reading a human being. And this is all of our behavior. So all on here, you can see how likely it is to be deceptive, whether or not you're going to see it before, during, or after someone's statement, or the score of deception, the behaviors that are going to confirm your findings, the behaviors that are going to amplify it and give you more information. So everything on the right is the most deceptive or most stress, where there's no behavior for deception. And everything on the left is the least. They're the most comfortable. Everything in like that turquoise is facial expressions. And everything on the very bottom is what happens outside of our bodies, like how we interact with like objects on the table and the stuff that we actually say. Like rising vocal pitch, increasing speed, a non-answered statement. So those are all the different ways that we can be deceptive in our speech. So I tried to get all behavior for deception detection on one sheet. So each one of these is backed by a minimum of 4 pieces of research to make it onto this table.
The question isn't if you're being manipulated. That's already happening. The real question now is, how many versions of the script have been tested just on you? Think about it. This isn't a feed. It's a behavioral lab. And you're not the audience. You're the subject. The techniques Chase Hughes exposes aren't theory anymore. They're active systems shaping what you see, what you believe, and who you become. And once you've been rewired, the worst part is, you won't even notice. So, what are your views on this? Let us know in the comments below.